Really overall, my main focus has just been buying into the S&P 500 index fund every single year. I've supplemented that recently with some VT-Sax and Vibitabilix, but overall, as you know, my strategy has really just been to buy and hold. I've also diversified a little bit into some fun individual stocks here and then, which is basically another term for I have an itch to gamble, but I don't want to go to Vegas because it's too far away, so instead, I'll just do it from my phone. So I bought some shares of Tesla last year, and then just recently I spent $10,000 buying into American Airlines stock right after I saw their stock price dipped 8%. But don't get me wrong, this is not a serious investment by any means. I mean, if it goes up in price, great, and if it goes down in price, then, so be that too. Anyway, I think if we end up seeing a big correction in prices in the future and prices keep going down even further, I'll probably just ramp up my contributions just a little bit, but otherwise, I'm going to be staying the course and doing the exact same thing as I always have. I know there's been a lot of talk about buying gold, investing in bonds, or trying to short the market, but honestly, that just seems unnecessarily risky and complicated for a lot of people, and I'm sure most people would just be better off dollar cost averaging into the market every single week or every single month. And for anyone who's not aware of what dollar cost averaging is, all it is that instead of investing all of your money at one single point in time, instead you just invest a consistent amount long term every single week or every single month. That way you're going to be buying into all the dips, you're going to be buying into all the gains, and long term everything is just going to average out. So as far as where I think stocks are going to be going from here, honestly, who knows? The entire stock market is pretty irrational, but all we could do based on the last over 100 years of historical data is simply just to buy into the markets as soon as you can, hold for as long as you can, and that is going to prove to be the most profitable. And that leaves me with my recession-proof investing plan. 1, continue to buy and hold real estate, which won't typically fluctuate in price. And even if it does, data shows that rents remain fairly consistent regardless of what happens, and that's really all I care about at the end of the day. Within 25 to 30 years, all the mortgages are going to be paid off, they will be owned outright, free and clear, and then all the rent I receive is pretty much going to be pure profit. Second, I'm going to be buying into the stock markets as usual. It's going to be a mix of US equities, international stocks, and bonds, and that's it. This is all meant to be money that I'm not going to be needing for the next 20 to 30 years, so wherever their value is in the short term is not going to make that much of a difference because I'm not planning to cash out. Third, I always make sure to keep a big emergency fund on the side. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but I keep enough in cash to last me at least a few years in the event that prices come crumbling down, all of my income dries up, and all of my properties go vacant at the exact same time. But then again, my overhead is extremely low, so it doesn't take that much money saved up to end up lasting me a really long time. Although for anyone else, I recommend you have at least 3 to 6 months worth of your expenses saved up in cash at all times in a high interest savings account or CD or anything else that's easily accessible. And if you don't currently have that, then that's something you should immediately work towards before anything else.
Economy. But I want you to remember, this stock market crash did not happen because of things that people were screaming about and trying to predict, like stock buybacks, 0% interest rate, Federal Reserve printing money, insert scare metric here. None of them were the reason why this stock market crashed. Nobody saw it coming. This is exactly why there's a strong likelihood that this entire thing is extremely exaggerated and will only last as long as there is fear, which if I had to guess would be anywhere between 6 months to 1 year when the vaccine gets developed. But now more than ever, I want you to use these next 6 months to get your act together and finally start investing, because this stock market crash is a gift in disguise, and not a single YouTuber, not even billionaire Ray Dalio, saw this event coming. He called it, but he called it for the wrong reasons, which means he was wrong, which also means his task failed successfully. So without further ado, let me show you my stock portfolio and show you exactly what's going on and how this whole thing is affecting me. And here it is. In 1 week, I have lost 19.05%, which is roughly $35,000. And in 1 month, get this, I've lost 20.82%, or roughly $60,000. Now, most people at this point was, nope, I'm exiting, I don't want to lose any more money. And that's just human nature, because we're more motivated by the fear of losing something than we're encouraged by the potential of gaining something. But the cool thing about the way that I invest is that it does not matter to me. At the end of the day, I do not care what my total sum value of my portfolio actually is.
And as things recover over the next few months by 20 or 30%, your $1,000, now you have $1,300. You made a $300, return on your investment. Or maybe you hold it long enough and that goes to $2,000 or more than that. Is that really going to change your life? I mean, honestly, as having an extra $300, a 30% return on your $1,000 really going to change your life? I mean, yeah, it's cool to make an extra $300. It's great to get that kind of return. That's a great return, but not unless you have a lot of money to invest. It's not really going to move the needle that much in your life. And you're going to have to be such a long-term investor that you hold these companies for 10, 20 years and even longer than that before you really get to numbers that really add up, that could be a little bit more life-changing for you. So to be honest with you, even though it's great to have $1,000 to invest it wouldn't be the number one place to start. See, I think that's what a more important investment to make before you even invest in stocks. And the investments I made first when I started my journey was investing in myself. And by the way, that's the number one investment that Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors of all time, one of my role models, he says, the best investment is not in real estate, it's not in stocks, it's in you. It's in you. That's the best investment. That's what changed my life more than anything else. And I think a lot of people don't realize and recognize how powerful information can be. How powerful it can be to invest in books where you can extract a whole lifetime of someone's experience and knowledge, and you can consume that in a matter of hours or days and read that book and upload all of their knowledge and wisdom into your brain, and that benefits you and benefits how you live your life from here on forward and the decisions that you make. That's a great investment. You know, books are such a bargain when it comes to the amount of money it costs to invest in them, and the return you can get on that in your life is incredible. Or investing in courses. You know, just the other day, Tatiana and I invested in a relationship course one on Tantra. It's $300. And we're obsessed with improving every aspect of our life. And I could have taken that $300 and invested in, one share of Apple. But I know that this investment in this course in our relationship is going to equal something so much more than money. It's going to create more love and more passion, more intimacy in our relationship. It's going to allow us to remove blockages that we have preventing us from being more open and surrendering to each other and taking our relationship to levels beyond what it is now. For me, that's a powerful investment more than just, getting a 30% return on a certain stock. Or investing in my business, my marketing skills, my talents, my capabilities, my ability to communicate, my mindset, my body. There's all these things I can invest in through other mentors and courses and coaches that I can hire that I'll always get a greater return from than I ever will from a stock. And by investing that money into myself to become more, then that equates to everything else I do in my life getting that much better. I can make better decisions in my business, my finances, my relationships. All of that improves by first prioritizing yourself. So that's always the number one thing that I recommend for people. I see everybody, whenever people ask me about stocks, and when I really talk to them about them, I say, hey, listen, don't worry about stocks right now. Work on yourself. Work on your habits, your skills, your mindset, all of the things that will actually equate to you earning millions of dollars return from who you become and ultimately allow you to have that money to invest more with when it comes to other opportunities in stocks or whatever it might be. So that's number one. That's how I changed my life since I was 17 years old.